All right, number 5 just wants us to find all the zeros. So we have this polynomial function, and there are up to 5 zeros that we might be able to find. And just in order to make this go a little bit smoother, I can use calculator. And then one of them I'll do by hand just in case you don't have the ability to do this with the calculator. Hopefully you can do the free download, but if not, it'll be just a longer process, and I'll show you that on the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out what I have. I'm going to type in this polynomial, so x to the 5th plus 5x to the 4th, and then 16x plus 16x to the 3rd plus 48x squared plus 63x and then plus 27. Alright, so I'm going to graph and see if I can get some help with some of these zeros. Okay, so what we see from this graph, it looks like -1. And you see how it comes down and just touches at -1? That gives us the indication that this might be a double root. And this is the hard thing about doing things by hand. You never know when any of them could work twice, okay? So, looks like -1, and then -2, and then that's -3. So it looks like -1, possibly twice, and then -3. That's all we can see. Let's test that out. So if I hit the trace button, and then I type -1, I get 0. Now if I do -3, we also get 0. So we've kind of just used a little shortcut with the calculator to find 2 of the zeros, maybe 3 of them, because it looks like -1 works twice. So let's do this by hand and check this out. So I'm going to write this down first. F of x equals x to the 5th plus 5x to the 4th plus 16x to the 3rd plus 48x squared plus 63x plus 27. Okay. And we have all of our terms, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So the numbers that we saw were -1, and I'm going to write -1 again, and then -3. So I'm going to try -1 twice because of that. It looked like it came down and touched and turned around. So I'm going to put -1 in my little half box, and then I'm going to list my coefficients. 1, 5, 16, 48, 63, 27. Okay. I'm going to bring my first number straight down. -1 times 1, -1, combine, +4. -1 times +4, -4, combine, we get 12. -1 times 12, -12, combine, and we get 36. -1 times 36, we get a -36, combine, and we get 27. And then -1 times 27, -27, combined, we get 0. All right, so this was a x to the 5th degree, so now this one would start x to the 4th, but we're going to continue going. I'm going to use -1 again because it looked like a double root, and see if that works. Now the only reason that we can keep going is because we found a 0. So if this had come out something other than 0, I would have to start over from here again. So -1, bring the 1 straight down, -1 times 1, -1, combine, we get 3. -1 times 3 is -3, combine, and we get 9. -1 times 9 is -9, combine, and we get 27, and then -1 times 27, -27, combine, we get 0. Okay, so -1 worked twice, so this is now an x to the 3rd degree, and we got to keep doing this until we get to x squared. When we get to x squared, we have a method for solving, which is quadratic formula, so we will do that. So now I'm going to try -3. Just continue from that. Bring down the 1. And we're going to do -3 times 1, which is -3. Combine 0. -3 times 0 is 0. Combine, we get a 9. And then -3 times 9 is a -27. Combine, and we get 0. All right. So at this point, we have gotten down to a part to where we can solve. We got to 0, got to 0, and this is now x squared. So this resulting polynomial is now x squared plus 0x plus 9. And we're going to set that equal to 0 and solve. So solving this, we would subtract 9 from both sides, so that gives us x squared equals -9. And then we will take the square root of both sides, and that will give us x equals positive or negative. Now, the negative under square root will make this imaginary, so this will become imaginary number. And then this is what we're looking at, square root of 9, and then this is I. Square root of 9 is 3, so I can write this as 3i. So I get 3i. So all of my zeros are -1, which I don't have to write it twice, I just need to write it one time. -3, and then 3i, and -3i. So this is much, much faster. Being able to use technology to figure out some of them, and then solve the last one by hand, then doing it all by hand, which we will see maybe on the next problem. -1, -3, 3i, and -3i. And you do not have to repeat that -1. They just need to know what numbers that this crosses the x-axis, not the multiplicity in this particular example.